We begin tonight with an assurance from President Muhammadu Buhari that if he wins the next presidential elections, he would leave some difference in that office. The president bared his mind while interacting with the Nigerian community in the United States during the week in New York. President Buhari, who accused the Nigerian elite of complicity of silence while the PDP mismanaged the country for 16 years, also asked Nigerians in the diaspora to invest in education back home. Correspondent Ibrahim Adra reports from New York.
That is the atmosphere that characterized the evening when President Buhari met with Nigerians of all ethnic groups in diverse professions from across America.
I was being even called Baba Go Slow. No, those who are going fast, why did they go to?
It's an evening filled with bouts of laughter as the president engages his audience. The cordial atmosphere, however, did little to stop the president from hitting hard.
But what happened to Nigerian elite? You allowed the country to be mismanaged for 16 years without saying a word?
On his tenure, he asked to be judged based on his 3 cardinal campaign promises, saying he has done well and do care about the ordinary Nigerians.
I'm always conscious of ordinary Nigerians, the majority of Nigerians. That's my constituency. That's why I want INEC, I want the law enforcement agencies. Anybody who went and marshaled the thugs, beating people up should be shot or something. So that let Nigerians vote whoever they want across ethnicity and religion. That is their right.
The Nigerian leader says he intends to do more if re-elected in 2019. In all of their remarks, the president's guests expressed desire to contribute to development of Nigeria. The proposition appeals to the president.
My advice, if you want to help us back at home, is invest in education in your constituencies. Because if you educate people, there is a level of nonsense they will not accept from anybody.
The event was organized by President Buhari's Senior Special Assistant on Diaspora Matters. As the meetings end, Nigerians living in America say it's an evening well spent.
It's always very encouraging to have leaders like him come and be with us, and we can interact and let him know what we think and what we can do for Nigeria.
Who are not after protecting their personal interests or vested interests, that's one step in overcoming corruption.
I was very impressed with what I heard over there.
Yes, sir.
President Buhari had earlier in the day hosted the Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo and the Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, Youssef Al-Othaymin. During the private meetings, the leaders discussed some issues, including attack on Nigerian traders in Ghana and the fight against insurgency. President Buhari also met with Mr. Tony Iwobi, the first black man ever to be elected senator, having lived in Italy for 41 years. From New York, Ibrahim Adra reporting for Channels Television News.
In the meantime, the controversy trailing the conduct of the Osun state governorship elections may not end soon, as the ruling All Progressive Party has accused the opposition People's Democratic Party of false claims to justify its defeat. The national chairman of the APC, Comrade Adams Oshomole, says that his party will work with its ally, the SDP, to bring qualitative governance to the state. The APC national chairman spoke on the reaction of the APC at his office in Abuja.
I'm happy that we're able to strike a deal that has to do with specific issues that will affect the welfare and the well-being of the people of Osun State. And so, whereas Saraki failed to secure a deal with the SDP, we secured a deal with the SDP. And now APC, as the governing party in the state, working with SDP, that clearly has huge influence in the areas in which elections were cancelled, combining our forces together, it wasn't strange that in the end we won and PDP lost. I think that for democracy to flourish, only people who can accept the pain of defeat should participate in an election, because there must be a winner and there must be a loser. But for PDP to take the position as though election is only free and fair if they win, and it is not free and fair if they lost. And when they won election in Cross River State, we didn't hear any voice last month. They won another election, I believe, in Taraba State or so. We didn't hear any voice. They were happy with the outcome. INEC was perfect. But whenever they lost an election, the INEC is colluding. Then the party has involved itself in rigging.
Meanwhile, the candidate of the PDP in the Osun State governorship elections has appealed to his supporters for calm as he begins the process to reverse the outcomes of the poll. During an interactive session with our political correspondent, Shehu Kimbaloyi in Osogbo, Mr. Adeleke vowed to make available to the election tribunal the evidence of rigging in the election.
The election was rigged because all our people, they did not allow them to vote. They sent in some fake policemen, they sent in some thugs, they were holding guns, they were shooting everywhere. People were scared, they were scared for their life. They even came out, especially in Orolu, our stronghold. They came out in their numbers, they wanted to vote. And they showed their card, they knew they were going to vote for my great party, PDP. And they started beating them, they started asking them that they cannot vote. What I can tell them is to be calm. Is to be calm. We will get our mandate. They will get their mandate through legal means. That is what we're going to do.
Do you have evidence of this rigging?
The evidence is so much.
And how convincing is this evidence?
Shehu, you don't want to know. I don't want to tell them. I don't want the APC to know about what we have on them.
Until you get to court.
Until we get to court.
It seems that you are very confident.
I am more than confident, 100% confidence. I'll be bringing it one by one, bagam. They are so scared right now. They couldn't even celebrate because they stole our mandate. They stole the people of Osun mandate.
Also, the National Executive Council of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, also says that it is committed to reclaiming its mandate through judicial processes after the setback it experienced in the Osun State governorship rerun election. Speaking at an emergency NEC meeting, the national chairman of the PDP, Mr. Uche Secondos, urged members of the party not to be deterred by the outcome. The meeting was summoned to consider what steps would be taken to address issues arising from the Osun governorship elections, as well as preparations for the 2019 general election.
ACD. The Osun governorship election has come and gone, but for the leadership of the People's Democratic Party, it is not a closed chapter yet. The national chairman of the PDP has summoned leaders of the party to this emergency meeting to decide on the appropriate steps to take regarding the fate of the PDP after the Osun governorship rerun election. For some of the NEC members at this meeting, the Osun experience is not a closed case yet. The party must seek redress in court.
The question is, who has the power to cancel elections? I want to urge the court to stand up for Nigeria, stand up for Nigeria's democracy, and ensure that the precedents they have established so far is maintained in this case.
We have rejected the outcome of both Ekiti and Osun state governorship election, and we are using every lawful means to regain our mandate.
Please, I want to appeal that we should please ensure that we...
Going forward, other members of the PDP want the party's leadership to learn from the Osun experience, remain more united, and re-strategize so as to prevent a recurrence of the Osun experience in 2019.
The work before us, if it's just the other party that we're competing with, I can say it's not a difficult work. The issue is that we're competing against the other party and those agencies that are meant to be neutral. And that is where our challenge is. And we have to be very serious, committed, and united.
Three things worry our supporters as I stand here today, and I must convey that to this NEC meeting. One, we must resolve any issue pending. We we must get a good candidate, and at the same time, they are looking for a reaction in this Osun deadline robbery.
Apart from the PDP, several election monitoring bodies, foreign and local, have questioned the credibility of the Osun governorship rerun election, which held on Thursday, September the 27th this year. It is hoped that those criticisms will be examined by the electoral body, apply its lessons as it prepares for the general elections next year.
The Nigerian International Observation Mission and the International Republican Institute has released its first assessment pre-election report as the 2019 elections build up. The report, which commends Nigeria for some improvement in its election process, is however concerned about the delays in finalizing the legal framework and release of funds for the 2019 elections. The group, among other things, says that enough and timely funding needs to be made to ensure that security agencies maintain the highest level of professionalism and impartiality in the electoral process.
Barely 6 months to the 2019 general elections, a pre-election assessment has been released by the Nigerian International Observation Mission and the International Republican Institute. Their findings indicate that there have been some improvements in Nigeria's electoral process.
Numerous positive developments have occurred since the 2015 elections that enhanced today's electoral environment in Nigeria. Some of these developments were noted in IRI and NDI's first pre-election statement in July. INEC has improved the voting process, notably through the introduction of continuous voter registration, adoption of simultaneous accreditation and voting, improvements to the secrecy of the ballot, and advancement of the smart card reader technology. Young people are motivated to participate in politics and to hold their representatives accountable through such initiatives as the Not Too Young to Run campaign.
However, there are concerns that funding, security, and an adequate legal framework could still be a clog in the wheel of a successful election.
Despite the above improvements in the administrative and procedural aspects of the voting process, deficits in the political process could undermine or compromise the democratic character of the 2019 elections. Numerous interlocutors with whom the delegation met commented on the lack of equitable competition within political parties regarding candidate selection, and relatedly, a penchant among parties to induce voter support through means that run contrary to the spirit of democratic franchise. For many Nigerians, the pervasive role of money in the campaign process lies at the heart of these concerns.
Whether these challenges will be taken care of before the polls remains to be seen. However, Nigerians and indeed the world will be expecting a free and fair election next year. Amaka Okafor, Channels Television News.
In part two, after the break, we continue our assessment of the progress made by the country on the 58th anniversary of Nigeria's independence. Tonight, we focus on the economy. Please stay with us.